So we are not going to present ourselves because we have done that already. But let's start with the problem, and we have already deep dive a little bit about the problem that we are going to be talking today. That is basically that inequality in the workplace in general. Can you go to the next one, Fatih, please, and go just another one more. So before deep diving into the problem, the next one, Fatih, sorry. Let's zoom up a little bit, right? Because as I said, we are from Adevinta. Adevinta is a big company, and we are working towards being diverse, equal, and inclusive. And we take this super seriously. And indeed, we have a strategy where we have three main pillars. The first one is about generating these equitable opportunities for everyone. The second one, it's more in-house, so creating these inclusive workplaces. And the third one is throughout all the marketplaces that we have in Adevinta, so that we can generate this positive local impact throughout our marketplaces. And let me focus on this last one, because this is what we are going to be talking about today. So in Adevinta, we are working in InfoJobs. Fátima, if you can go to the next one, where we are right now the #1 job board in Spain. And as we are the #1, we have this social responsibility of moving towards and being a diverse, inclusive, and equitative job board. And not only for us, but also to help the companies to go throughout the hiring process in the same way, right? And right now we have a great opportunity because we are rebuilding our back office, meaning that the tool that the employers are using in order to go throughout the hiring process from the job board, the job offer publication till the hiring moment, this is our moment to take another approach, and which is what we are going to be talking today. And this starting point is about gender equality. And why gender equality? If you go to the next one, as I said before, this is something that I'm facing on the daily basis, no? In the meetings that I am, where we are other product and tech directors, indeed, we are only 3 out of 15 people in the meetings that are women. So it's only 20% of the representation. So definitely is women underrepresentation. And you may say, bah, this is only in Adevinta, but if we look at the big numbers out there, if we look at Fortune 500, there's only 2.5% of chief executive officers that are women, and only 11% of the engineers are women. So these are big numbers and definitely give us a picture that there's this underrepresentation. But it's not only about the numbers itself. If you go to the next one, when we are looking at gender equality and we ask ourselves the reason why it is so important, there is evidence, right? Or according to the Fast Companies, when there are organizations with about this average of gender diversity, they have higher levels of employee engagement. According to HBR, companies with higher than average diversity had 19% higher innovation revenues. And according to McKinsey, the most gender diverse companies are 21% more likely to experience above average profitability. So those are big numbers, and it has a huge impact. And when we look on how we can impact in gender equality throughout the life of a woman, definitely there are a lot of different touch points throughout the life and throughout the different environments where women are. But if we look at what we can do in InfoJobs, and you can go to the next one, we read this paper that was published in 2011 on the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. So in this study, they were trying to take the evidence on how does this gender wording affects on how do we react into job advertisement. So this is a huge study. They made like 5 different studies, but let me focus on 2 of the outcomes. The first one, it was that those job advertisements within these main dominated areas have more masculine wording. And this is going to generate a loop, because when we look at the second outcome, there are more men participants when we have more masculine wording within the job advertisement. So we were asking ourselves if we could break this cycle with a solution within our job board. And Fátima will walk you through it.
Well, first, what options? Thank you, Marta. She just gave us the big pictures around, job offers and their proven inequalities. But let's take a closer look to what we face at InfoJobs, right? Well, there are two main factors that influence the companies when they write job descriptions. First one, the Spanish language by itself, that, as I mentioned before, it includes a huge and massive masculine forms. They are predominant in our language. For example, in Spanish, when we want to say you're brave, you're strong, no, decimos eres fuerte o eres valiente. And a second factor is job positions that, historically have been associated with gender, with specific gender. That's the perfect cocktail for this problem, right? So this is important to know that employers are not really conscious of writing discriminatory job description. They just do it because this is something cultural, right? So the way we express ourselves the last decades or even centuries, have been influenced in these situations, including, the job offers. In our case, for example, when people look for a cleaning services, they look for a woman. And if I look for a firefighter, they'll look for a man, right? So what options do we have? At the time that we start discoveries around these problems, everyone was talking about the ChatGPT, and it was becoming a new tool. ChatGPT, AI was in everybody's mouth, but we didn't want to be driven, by the hype, and we also look at other solutions, right? Templates, for example. We also think about infopills, tips in the published forms. Inclusivity suggester. This one, we had a hackathon, and one of our teams coded a diversity suggester. So once the offer is written, we suggest, based on an inclusive or non-inclusive list words. So, but we recommend to the companies to change the content. So in the cons, we cannot change employers' content automatically. In the contract, we are giving them extra work for that, right? And we think that it's what we were considering finally an AI tool. That's where we considering offer an AI assisted descriptions with ChatGPT. And for us, it was a best effort value ratio because first, development impact was not heavy. Second, involved a minimum user effort. Third, we assure really the description is created in the open field, and lately, we ensure that the content has the minimum length and the structure we want. Okay. So, talking about the solutions, okay, how we do that. So we launch here. There you go. We have a feature, and we launch a feature where companies, they can get an AI assistant when they had to create the job descriptions content, right? So the job description field is located in the form that our companies have to fill out when we need to post a job offer. So this is the solutions. And talking more about the solution, what we did is to connect the API to the ChatGPT. We use a version 3.5 Turbo. And we found out that after some trials and errors with the team, we found that, we get more and a better accurate answers by sending two separate orders, commonly known as a prompt. And in the first prompt, we first indicate the AI, which role and tone we should be using, right? So an example of the prompt is, act like a recruiting expert, The response should be professional, approachable, respectful, and use a gender neutral word, right? We understand that there are more gender sensitivities, but this is a first step to take, and of course, with a lot of room to improve. And also we talk about, also we tell the AI about the format and structure, right? So the prompt include that, you should answer, the answer should be around 600 letters, bold, and about the structure, right? Job description should be included, requirements, and based on skills and, what the company have to offer. So in the second prompt, in the second, what we did is to indicate what specific job descriptions we are looking for, right? So we're basically telling AI, hey, write with the rules mentioned before. Now I want you to write a text with these positions, and write the core skills that are associated with this job position, right? So the company can either select a job positions in the closed list that we are seeing right now, or company can write down the job title, right? So the AI assistance is offered only, when company selects a job title from the closed list because of two main reasons. First of all, data privacy and accuracy. Why data privacy? Well, this way we ensure that no sensitive data is sent to ChatGPT, okay? It's not common that the companies write down in the job titles numbers or names, but it's an open door and we prefer to keep it closed, okay? And accuracy, because if of the options included in the list, are related to a specific core skill. So our system is to run a process in the background where assign a core skills related to a specific job, right? Well, here is a short video where you can see the process. Company selects a job position from the dropdown, and automatically, the feature come up, and it clicks and generate descriptions. It takes around 10 to 13 seconds to send the answers back. There it is 2 prompts that are going on, and there you go. A small text is filled on the content. You can see the bullet, the structure, order, the core skills that we are already sent it. And also you can see the gender neutral that is included here, that it's, this is very, very interesting here. So we also have a content, and it's general neutral, included, inclusivity, and with a good structure as we ask for, that we ask the AI. Well, we face challenges here. The first one is the security for ChatGPT. So that's why this is why we ensure that we don't set any sensitive data by enabling these features only for those company who choose a job title from the closed list. And second, performance. This is very important. 13 seconds as an average response. It's not a bad number considering that the length of the answer is back and the prompts, but we know that, and in this digital era, and any person should be expecting immediately, right? The third challenge definitely is an AI bias. We don't control, the output of machine learning algorithms. The prejudices, assumptions made during the algorithm development process, or maybe prejudices in the training data, we don't control that, right? For external dependency, we depend on the uptime of the API completely. And fifth, very important, is business impact. Our goal, main goal is not like a business impact, but more a social impact, as we mentioned before. But of course, we try to cross data to check if the use of AI assistance impacted in some business metrics. maybe the number of applicants for job offers using ChatGPT, or the matching scores. But in the end, there are so many variables impacting this that probably, the requested skills, the salary, that it was impossible to correlate them. So the results and bright spot here is that, well, a good one, 100% of users kept the gender suggestion. So that's for us the most important result here. More than 1,000 of job offers included are being created using the ChatGPT. Only in 4 months, considering that we are still in testing mode and we are open to 50% of our users, not 100% yet. We got a 42 click-through rate, a really good 58 of usefulness, 84 of content accuracy, and 93 of easiness. So for us, these are the results so far. But what's next? That's where questions is a good, very good questions. We are right now on a loop of keeping on the performance, as we said before. Our machine learning team right now, it's they tested the Amazon Bedrock. It's a new technology, and it got it 3 times better than. So we're probably that's going to be our next step. Improving the performance and probably using a new one technology. Okay, so that's the case. Let's gonna make a wrap up from Marta.
Sure. So we wanted to highlight like 3 different ideas or areas that we want you to bring with you at the end of the talk. So the first one is one size does not fit all. And the reason why we wanted to highlight this is because we considered like different type of approaches in order to solve the problem itself, which was not always throughout AI, but other type of solutions. Nevertheless, within AI, we also evaluated not only ChatGPT, but other solutions in place. And what is important is to have like this list of kind of must-haves, so these use cases that you want to cover in order to understand if the solution it is a fit for you or not. Second is that AI could be used for good, right? Like all the news that we have been seeing throughout AI, because it has been a hype, everybody is using it, sometimes not for a good use. And we have been seeing all the different use cases and the different usage that have been out there. Is not the only way of using AI. In this case, we are trying to use this towards reducing this bias, right? Even though AI has its bias itself, right? Because at the end of the day, it's made by human beings, and human beings already have their own bias, right? Which is still a challenge. And the third one, it was about experiment bravely. We were not sure what was going to be the outcome. One of our biggest concerns was that anything that was suggested towards being more inclusive was going to be modified by any of the recruiters, which wasn't the case, right? The way that we made it, it was throughout a small amount of companies, observing what they are doing, seeing what they are, how they are implementing and how they are using the feature, so that we can reduce all the risk. So from our point of view, it's more about enumerating all these risks, having and being conscious of the risk that we are facing with this kind of solutions that we have in place, such as AI, but not being a stopper for ourselves. And that was all on our side. Happy to answer any of the questions that you have.